Where do you think Coco is right now?
It's 7 o'clock. Actually, sorry, it's 9 o'clock. Where's your Coco? Do you know where Coco is?
Right between
The wires.
my left shoe and my right shoe. So if I move, I might accidentally kick the poor thing.
Wow, I mean, she kind of deserves it. If she puts her where she could trip you.
Man,
If she's gonna do that, she's gonna wait till you get to the top of the stairs.
she
Or
wants to be with her human.
uh all right, what's going on, everybody? Hello, Cheeseburger Comics. Hello, Jay Lucian, Evil Black Cat. Anybody who's not watching I Love Comics and watching us, thank you. Righty.
So he really told you, asked if you wanted to hop on.
I hopped on there because somebody said that he was doing the comic cover rankings of it, and I was like, why? Or not cover with the video game ranking. And that's what the title said, video cover ranking. So I went on there. I went through. I looked at StreamYard to see if he was, and sure enough, it said he was live. So I looked on YouTube, and turns out he's not doing the cover ranking. He is just with Dalton picking out the comic book covers with Dalton's input on video game covers.
No, I don't care that he's doing that because I said we don't own this. We don't own this time slot.
I know. I'm just saying.
How long have we been doing this? And he goes, "Yeah, why don't you jump on?"
My thing is that you got a guy who doesn't play video games choosing video game covers. Well, MK, you should be there.
I'm just saying you got a guy that, like I said, that doesn't. I mean, was it 3 years at least that we've been doing this?
Yeah. So I was in the chat, for a little bit. He's like, "Come on, go jump in." I'm like, "It's Thursday. How?"
No, well.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that it's like, I hope the people who actually know video games are in the chat over there and telling him which ones to choose. Dear God, he didn't know what Bloodborne was. And if you don't play video games and you don't know what it is, and you're choosing video game covers,
yeah, I may take that night off.
That's all right. Wait till I'm getting some money tomorrow together. I'm gonna request a bunch, so you're gonna take a few nights off. So I'm gonna do some Sonic covers.
I don't mind Sonic. I'm not sure how to rank them, but
it's gonna be. I'm probably gonna do 2 different versions of Sonic.
Who do I play on Sonic?
You're Dr. Eggman.
I thought he had a different name.
Well, there's Robotnik and Eggman.
I'm Robotnik.
Yeah.
I'm a Robotnik. Just as long as you do a bunch of Robotnik covers, so I can vote for myself.
Well, it depends if I do the IDW ones. I'm not sure if he's really on it or not. Much of those, but I know Sonic is his friends. But if we do the Archie ones, I think he's on those.
Do you tell Dr. Robotnik domo arigato?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
because we don't. That's not low hanging fruit. That's no hanging fruit.
Really? Okay. So I'm regressing.
How does they say hanging fruit? Are you talking about the riots right now?
No. He said that was a really awful attempt at a joke. It wasn't even noteworthy, is what he's saying.
Oh, no. The one I was talking about was even worse of a joke because what's going on in the riots, you got the pre-Palestine, and then you got the Pride Month going at each other. It's going to be war.
Hey, did you see that there were only 5? There were 10 teams in the NFL that weren't celebrating Pride Month. 5 of them have already caved. But there's
Steelers
5,
better not have.
There's 5. No, Steelers are all in on Pride.
Yeah.
But the Bengals are one of the 5 that still haven't caved. Guess what they celebrated instead?
Patriots Day?
National Yo-Yo Day on June 6th.
That's okay. It's better than having
I just think that's
crotch day.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
That is a complete up yours.
Yep.
I didn't know there was a National Yo-Yo Day, but
Cheeseburger says they picked up Pastime #1 this week. Oh yeah.
Number 3 comes out next week.
Yeah, he must have got a reprint before he found the original. Yeah. I ended up going to the second printing because they were sold out of the first printing. So that's how I got my copy. But quite a few books come out this week. I'm gonna have a crap ton more next week. But this week, mainly my books I got 7 or 8 new ones, and then the rest is all back issues. And according to Zach, he said he's got some back issues.
Yeah, I have some.
He's talking about comics, though.
Yeah.
But,
for once, I am too.
Yeah. He got both.
Well, there's that.
All right. So I've got 7 new books plus 2 facsimiles. 2 I did not get a chance to read because I was doing other things today.
You know it's going to be hard to fall asleep with us making noise here.
Guess so. All right.
Talk to a cat like it understands me.
You know, you little shit.
It's actually not that much different than talking to my brother.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's not good.
Do you sweet talk your brother too?
No, but it's sometimes it all goes in one ear and out the other.
All right. Number 7 for this week. I picked it up. This is Grimm Tales of Terror. New issue. Came out this week. Lovers Lane Killer. And I noticed it says 22 pages. Normally it's 32 pages.
Can you show a couple pages of art? Because that looks kind of cool. Is it set in the 50s?
It's hard. It looks modern. Yeah, it's modern.
Huh. It's a cool cover, though.
Yeah.
It starts out with a little throwback to Zodiac, and then it pops up into modern times.
Yeah. So and it shows the killing of them. Zodiac Killer. So, like I said, it looked pretty good. Crazy bitch, monsters. So, actually, is this Sin? Is that Red Skull's daughter?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, what the heck is that? I think it looks pretty cool. And then issue 7, they're showing this, like, you know, it's like Bloody Mary. Yeah. Yep. They got some. They're doing a lot of horror now, so they got some stuff coming out though. So, Breen, this might be the better one to go for horror books than EC.
Hey, I've got that Zenscope horror thing. It is really good.
Yeah. And for those, they got some new stuff coming out. You know, Battle Scars, Around the Hood, graphic novels, Ashes of the Past. I just wish the pinup cover was actually the same kind of art in the inside for some of those. But Cinderella Omnibus finally in there. So if those are, if you haven't read these, it's a great way to collect them. And then, of course, these are the other covers. So it looks good. I'll probably enjoy it. I normally do. It's usually someone who's it's like almost. Jeff, would it be correct to say way that book is pretty much almost like the Spectre punishing bad people?
Sort of. I mean, there's usually this redhead that comes around. She's some sort of Egyptian god.
Yeah,
and she's always involved with it somehow. So she's not technically
like a vampirella.
Yeah, she's there and she interacts with them somehow, and she's always like warning people not to do stuff, or and they don't listen. So she's kind of directly or indirectly meting out the punishment.
Yeah.
Or warning people against certain things so they can avoid it.
Literally, she needs a smoking jacket and a pipe and says, "Look at this book. We'll tell you a tale." But number 6, and the one this is the only other book I didn't get the chance to read. So there's 2 books that are on my list I didn't get a chance to read. This is the new story arc. And let's just say it starts off with a bang. Going to kill a monster, saving a hot babe, topless babe. Said like, if you like old this kind of reminds me of what the layout is. It reminds me of the old school like art we had back in the day and stuff. Storytelling, the gutters, the panels. You know, I love the fact we have all these yellow boxes. If your kids are wondering what are these are narrator boxes. where they actually tell the story what's going on. So help you out. And yep, Conan. Yep, it's basically, if you like Conan, this is basically the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan books, where he basically kills monsters, kills evil men, has sex with women, kills evil women after having sex with them. You know, yeah, it's so the art is just great. I love this. Like Conan just kills people. I said like it's been great. I mean, look at the picture here. That's
So killing him is after.
well, he didn't. No, this is a dude. He didn't have sex with a dude.
Well, yeah, if he did it before, he'd be Conan the Necromancer.
Then we get the evil.
That's a whole different storyline.
Then we get an evil queen. It looks like a princess or something. Like I said, Zeb Wells, or sorry, Jim Zub. Ooh, I apologize. Looks like he's going against the Serpent Society or some cult of that. And it said it looks fun, and yep. There's the next one. Slaves of the Magi.
Indentured servants of the Magi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Slavs of the
Slobs.
Slavs. You know what Slavic?
No, I know. We'll play on words there.
2 facsimiles I got this week come out. Issue 2 of this little mini series, or book 2. This was $7, but for me it's worth it though. I've never read these before. I read the first one. The other month came out. We get a Mad Hatter story. It's on newsprint paper, the original paper they printed it on, with a glossy cover and a glossy back. But it is just great. If you're a fan of Tim Sale's art and Jeff Loeb's storytelling back in the day, it's just fun. I think this is from the 90s, right? 95?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 97 probably. So, like I said, I love the fact it's a newsprint too. I'll pay the extra. But there are no ads in this though. So yeah, basically, it's a Mad Hatter. The villain kidnaps a girl. Batman goes in, rescues her, defeats so kind of cliche, but like I said, it's probably way better than that. I'm just giving you the highlights. But, so look, it's Aunt May.
Who?
No, I think that's Thompson.
That's probably Tompkins.
Tompkins or
yeah, her age fluctuates depending on who's writing it.
no. But I said I love the fact that it's newspaper. It's so great. I'm not sure if it's oversized, but of course we get the classic scene in here. Pearls, everything, and just him having a nightmare. Really cool. Other facsimile that came out this week with ads. This one is $7. So I did not get the shiny because to me shiny is redundant. You pay.
The ads are an important part of those.
Yeah, they aren't.
Are.
Oh, I was talking about I'm talking about the shiny. I didn't get the shiny cover.
No. You said this one has has ads.
Yeah,
I said because the other Batman has no ads, but
the same price.
Yeah,
this one's a little thicker though. So,
but you know what I like about Batman versus the detectives? Almost all Batman stories. I mean, there's a couple like 2-page humor stories, but yeah, three Batman stories in there.
Well, even if it's not Batman stories, if there's like 1 or 2, I love the backup stories they usually put in here because that's golden age.
Yeah, but the Batman stories are still better.
Oh yeah, yes,
And that's what we got the book. Like, so we'll get.
But I don't mind getting like stuff like this, there. So, do you remember what was significance about this issue, other than the cover being awesome?
I don't know if there is anything else. Maybe second Joker appearance.
Let me look real quickly on my thing. Books is big. DC issue variants. Let's see, featuring iconic cover artwork feature Batman and Robin by Fred Ray. I don't see anything that's significant though. Yeah, it has the Four Fates, the White Whale, and then the Case of the Lucky Lawbreakers, and Christmas, whatever that was. But yeah, Linda Page. Who was Linda Page?
I don't know. I know it's Julie Madison, but I don't know who Linda Page was.
Yeah, I just saw it. Hold on. DC. So Linda Page. It was a wealthy socialite from Gotham City for a time, romantically involved with Bruce Wayne. She appeared in Batman #5. Then her pre-crisis was Batman 2-8. Then she appeared in post Flashpoint was DC Crimes of Passion #1, which came out 5 years ago.
And she's cousin to Turna.
You know,
I'm not acknowledging that.
I know. I just
I thought that was a little better.
That'll learn you to think.
Yeah, I guess I should stop doing that.
Alrighty though. It'd be more funny if you would have said that she's related to Power Girl, Paige. All right. And then I guess this is my one. Yeah. I guess that was mine. That was when we're on my number 6 then. This is Blood Type. I picked it up because the art and the inside is actually pretty dang good in this. Give it a shot, and I'm always leery when it comes to like these books because all I've heard from people say it's like, yeah, they preach to you, especially the anthologies. You get some really bad writers who just want to virtue signal, or the stories suck. This was pretty much decent enough. It started off like Morbius, where she's on a ship and she's been basically feeding on people. And she saves the captain for last, and then she pins the murders on him. She ends up at this vacation spot, and she basically glamours, or I guess this guy who comes to check on her because she's based on a little beach thing because the sun's coming up, so she makes it there. It's a little hut. She closes it, and then because it's a rental thing, the guy disturbs her, so she ends up making him like her ghoul, I guess, or what do they call him? From servant,
Servant. Daytime servant.
And he tells her about. He was like, "Oh, you're a vampire? Oh." It's like, he's like, and he mentions basically that she's not the only vampire on this island. So someone's been basically feeding on people. Tourists went missing. And of course, it was a Karen that went missing. So I thought that was kind of funny. And talk about how she got lost. She stumbled, lost her way, and ended up in like this, like a cave and fought people. And then she was pretty much murdered by another vampire. And so she wants to know, well, I can't have anybody else going after my feeding grounds. I need food. So she wants him like take me to the people who saw it or know about this, more about the vampire lore and stuff. And that's basically what happens with this. They go to this little group of people who talk about it, and she's revealed that she's a vampire. Things take a table turn when basically the rest of the people start attacking her. Art is pretty decent on this. I love the moon and everything, the peak where they're fighting everything. I love how they show everything in the bat kind of like silhouettes. The action as it goes by, and it kind of leaves them, where they kind of fall off a cliff. Guess you could call it a cliffhanger. But yeah. So I don't know. It's like it's not like in your face, like talking about anything. But I mean, it's not. It's also I don't think it's like real raw girl power. Everyone's stupid. So I'm interested to see where it goes. So honestly, I think it's a good book. Do I think it's great? No. Do I think it's awful? No. I think it's a good book. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely recommend though. I mean, if you're looking for more supernatural vampire stuff, that's not the cliche. Oh, I love him. He loves her. I don't want the love triangle. I don't need Vampire Diaries or True Blood. But all right, that's my number 6.
We need something in between Twilight and the way the vampires in blood type.
You know what I want? True Blood.
I don't want that either. But
I want well, not in the comedy sense, where I don't mind romance in a book, but I mean, but I want there to be like betrayal and all that stuff.
well, yeah, well, like the thing, the problem I have with this vampires, no human is anything other than fodder or food, and that's so there's that it kind of limits what you can do with that character because they don't. Yeah, I said.
Well, it's only issue 1. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe
yeah,
she will.
We'll see what happens in the next one.
That's sort of like the way that is in the Blade thing, though. I mean, they're sort of in between a bit.
Right. Top 5. Got the Perez cover.
Oh, I didn't see that at our store.
Yeah. Did you even know it was out?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. We showed it Tuesday night.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you remember?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't drunk.
I didn't see it to be drunk. It's called you just weren't paying attention.
I was buzzed.
Hi, Buzz. It's basically we're showed these gods from the blue. They're basically retired of being locked away and stuff, by Dagon, and they go to revolt, and then he pretty much slaughters all of them. Of course, so we get the introduction of who these characters are. Meanwhile, we got the Kraken going against the Nautilus and Arthur and all them. And Arthur can't control the beast, and they're trying to get away from it. So they use some magic against the thing, let's try to slow it down, but it's gaining on him. So Arthur basically does what he normally does. He gets out and he pushes the car, and it zooms off. They invade the beast. Him and the lady of the lake share a drink, and he mentions I hope this shit can get me drunk because I had a really buff day and I just want to relax, kind of joking around with stuff. And they need supplies, so they go to the next city. Of course, the next city has what we saw in the beginning with those gods. All we know is off screen something slaughtered them. I'm sorry, Jay, we didn't get you didn't get to see it, but they're going in there, and the gods come out, and they're pretty much like. Do you remember? And this is callback to the very first. I think it was the first or second issue. I think it was issue 2 where he comes across the Lady Lake and the area and all that stuff. Remember, they were like possessed by the plague, a parasite, and that's what happens to these out there. Yeah. So apparently, Dagon is the one that's infecting people with that stuff, and Arthur frees something that pretty much kills them. And they told the old dude said, "This crystal here, we shouldn't remove this. This is keeping something here was much far more dangerous than everything else." And of course, Arthur says, "Well, fuck it, we're gonna die." So he frees it, and this thing is water, and it's basically taken and it's curing not curing, but removing that plague that's parasites infecting the dead corpses. And it turns out to be someone I did not see coming in this. Did you? I don't bring before I reveal it. Did you see that? No. Wonder Twins or Wonder Twin. Hey, Arthur. Long time no see. So we are going to have, oh my gosh, it's going to be awesome. Activate the form of, what the, I love that. Look at the title. The last time I saw him, that character, is when he was murdered in the
Teen
DC
Titans.
Vampires. Oh, I'll say DC Vampires.
Oh,
They murdered him.
I'm pretty sure they slaughtered him in Teen Titans in like
So
2008.
I'm looking forward to the next issue. Wow, it has just been great. Up at this point, I was like, okay, we're underwater adventure. It's really cool with the giant monsters. I'm like, where are we going with this? You know, is we just kind of, it's like you're on a journey to go see the princess, but we got to stop for gas. That's what it felt like in this issue. You know, we got to stop for supplies, and then they're bombarded by the old gods who are, possessed. They kill the zombies, and then they're like, hey, what's up, buddy? So,
I heard it may already be on the chopping block.
oh, I wouldn't doubt it. DC always does this when the book's good. But you know what, though? If DC, I'll be sad if the book goes away, but guess what? That's less money I'm giving to DC now.
Yeah.
That's their own problem. Because I'm not going to be picking up the new Batmans unless it's the Batman Year One with Mark Waid and Dan Mora, or the Batman Dark Patterns, which is my next book. My number 4 this week. Another just fun series. Don't ask me to pronounce the word on the bottom. It's part 1. But they talk about the word. The word is actually significant, though, in the series. In the beginning of this issue. It talks about how...
Periodolia?
Yeah, pareidolia.
Maybe. Or pareidolia?
Yeah, it's just basically it's when you see faces and things. Pareidolia is the name of how we perceive patterns where there are none. Seeing faces in clouds or the man in the moon. The first thing we have to do is be able to recognize it as infinites as other people. The faces in our caregivers to return a smile, to be able to bond and be protected. It means that part of our minds can be overactive. It's led to so many of our myths, our legends, and gods. Part of being a detective is being able to see past that pareidolia, and to not be fooled by patterns that are not there, to not assign relevance to nature or coincidence. But tonight there's another fire in Gotham, and pretty much she's like, and I've had pretty much enough. Like I said, the art in this has just been great, and I love it's like him sitting in the chair and going back to the original Batman Year One, and he's soaking his fist in the ice bucket. Yeah. I love that. So pretty much there's a fire in the one part of town that cops don't even give a crap about. They won't even patrol it because it's basically like a shanty town where all the homeless people live, and no one goes in there because it's a maze and get lost in there. And he goes in there, he comes across this weird guy who keeps talking to him and like weird stuff, riddles and stuff. I used to be a doctor and stuff. And Batman's like, I don't give a shit. Where's the fire? And he gets there, and like I said, this whole issue has just been fun. All the camera angles, everything. Either he's climbing a building or overhead shot of him. But they find a woman inside a wash machine who is burned, and they even talk about the how Gordon's like, oh, she must have been shielding her face with fire. Actually says when the fire actually shortens the tendons, shrinks them up, and then it causes the arms retract forward in. So it looks that way. I thought it's kind of cool. But he goes home, talks about it, and the old gangs of Gotham is because Alfred's smart. He's not just a butler. Alfred has been around. He knows some things, and he talks about back in the old days there was a gang that would do this. They ran a laundromat, and you crossed them. They made an example out of you. They dump acid on your face, and then they hang you up, and Bruce, pretty much is just going back to one of his original crimes, but along the way, he's going back. He's going to go look for more evidence in the shanty town where he was, and you see him in the Batmobile, and then just kind of drew him into the street, and he sees this guy is going to prey on this woman. The guy puts on a little mask, a skull mask, and Batman's like, "Not today, bitch." The guy was like, he'll see it. And he's like, held the fit. Oh, my fist. And I love this shot here. Let's talk about the art. Look at that. I love all that. It's just so great. And even this guy's afraid of the shantytown. He won't go in there because he said like it's disturbing, and he doesn't want to be in there. All the time people go missing stuff, and he hangs him up after interrogating him off a rooftop, and he calls Gordon. He's like, "I got you a pickup. Can you pick up?" And Gordon's like, "Can you just stop freaking leaving them like so high up off the ground?" But like I said, this has just been a fun series, banger after banger after banger, bro. That's what it is. This series. Of course, everyone has a Ryan North, Mike Norton preview of Crypto and everything in there. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe Ryan North won't suck for once.
I could not be less interested in the book.
Well, you're not a dog guy. You're a cat guy.
No, I'm a dog guy, but I don't want to read about one.
Yeah, that's okay. You're an old man. Hey, it might be good. It might be bad. Who knows? You know. I read Scooby-Doo books that has a talking dog in it. So.
Yeah, probably written by somebody better than Ryan North.
Oh, everything's written better than Ryan North.
There you go.
Even the Megan Fitzmartin writes better than Megan North.
No.
Oh, and by the way, a high talking dog, by the way.
No, there's no reefer in there. All right, number 3. Transformers. I got the cover B, Jorge Corona cover. A good original cover was all right, but I prefer Battle Damage, Optimus Prime. It starts off. We got Magnus in here. He's been captured by the Joes or the U.S. Army, and he's talking to the guy, and from a bomb scientist. This journal comes in, and they're basically just gonna torture him. And the guy says, the guy who looks like Joe Robertson says, like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" Yeah, the guy, the cop there, he's it's like Joe Robertson had like cool sunglasses. But anyway, Rebecca Cybertron, they have to go back and help Optimus Prime, so they only have enough for one person to go back. So they pretty much are going to send back the battle van. Gives them an image of Carly, talks about her, and to go protect her, and he's going to go, and he's like, you're her basically bought off her van, and he's going to go back and help him. Meanwhile, Starscream is still talking shit to Megatron. Megatron slaps him like a bitch, and he basically wants them to help him go after the Ark where the Autobots are. And we see Optimus is kind of pretty much they're running tests on him because he keeps doing stuff that's not he shouldn't be doing. Like he's slowly becoming possessed a little bit. For those who know on the if you've been reading this book, Optimus has been using Megatron's right arm because he lost his arm, and he figured, well, our arm's an arm. You're a robot. It doesn't make a difference. And I've been theorizing that like something bad was going to happen, and of course, that's what happens. The Decepticons are basically attacking them at the base. Things are getting blown up. We see what's their names? Devastator and Bruticus, the big giant Combatibots, are attacking, and then they don't like each other, so basically they start attacking each other. And of course, Optimus, takes advantage of that, but behind them, somebody goes in and pretty much makes the Ark disappear, and they fall into the cliff here, pretty much at the end. And just when things are about to be just come bleak, we get the Autobots, their airplanes, the ones he'd made previous issue, combine and go against the two giant big brutes. So we got this giant, like, you just rock 'em, sock 'em robots this whole entire issue. It's been great. What's up, Ian and Becca? What's going on? Happy Thursday. Yeah. Going through that, there's a lot of cool books, Optimus Prime, I love this. So it's like I said, I talked about how his arm was having problems. They realize it's Megatron. His arm has been affecting him, making him act a little darker than he is. So he says, like, I need to get it off. He's like, Autobots, shoot the damn arm off. And like it's just so freaking metal. And they do it. They shoot his arm off in this. And of course, the arm is left there. And walks up to it and says, it's like, oh, look. Thanks for the arm, bitch. He gets so Megatron's got his arm back. and he is able to basically like be a full power gun. That's what his gun mode is at the end, and pretty much they come across one of the battle damage, or actually no. So he transforms. Starscream holds him, the gun there, and then they shoot the Autobots or constructicon or whatever we call it, or combaticon, and it kills one of them. And he goes up there and he pretty much Megatron sees him if they leave him to die, and he pretty much like rips the dude's head off after like, and then leaves him on a cliffhanger like that to be continued. Just an awesome, fun series. I'm not a huge Transformer fan before this series. Like I watched the G1 cartoons, but the fact that this is a G1 based story set in the 80s, but ramping it up to making it more TV-14 instead of just being rated G. And the crazy about this, they haven't really killed any humans of this. We haven't seen splats, like they were in the beginning of the series. It's just been like the robots or robots, whatever you want to call them. When they get shot and battle damage, they leak energon and stuff like oil, whatever, and that's how they die. So it's just been fun, and it's been building up to this because they purposely kept Megatron away from the series, separate in a separate book. But now he's back at full power. He's going after Optimus and everything. The final battle is going to be happening soon. We got 3 more issues of Daniel Warren Johnson, and I don't see anything scheduled on the League of Comic Geeks after that. So I think the series ending, or they're launching a new title. So, which I hopefully it's still continuing with a different writer. Will it be as great as Daniel Warren Johnson? Hopefully, but number 2 for this week is Geiger. Geiger has just been a fun series, a series I normally did not care for in the beginning, because I'm more a fan of Red Coat, Junkyard Joe, reading those, and then reading Geiger. Geiger just felt kind of very overall serious. The first volume of Geiger I liked. Second series in the beginning, I was kind of like, why am I reading this? This is kind of depressing. The guy's angry and better and stuff. It just felt like it was going on too long. But we got the glowing man versus the Tariq versus the glowing woman. And we got the Mr. President, who I guess is the Invisible Man or something like that. It's hard to tell what his character is going to be, but
I think he's like them, because if you see a little bit later on, he might have the same stuff as them.
Yeah, absorbing radiation. We don't know, but those basically her whole plot. The girl Ashlyn here basically wants him to basically like she's going to launch a nuke underground and wants him to absorb the radiation, but it'll take her radiation so she can finally die. She's tired of being this glowing person, the curse. She just wants to die, and their whole plan was basically to trick Tariq into basically absorbing the radiation, having no choice. And when the bomb uploads to the ground to save people, but it also will steal her radiation. But she doesn't take into account the fact that, it'll kill him because he's not strong enough by himself. Meanwhile, his friend, the Nuclear Knight, has been held hostage, and he's trying to tell him, hey, the bomb's going to go off. You got to save those people. You got to evacuate them, and the president gives the orders like, let them die. We don't care about them. Junkyard Joe's guy here, his operator is with him, trying to tell Joe, we need to get out of here. Come with me. The bomb goes off, and all the events happen here. He said, I love this layout too. Like Brian, have you ever seen anything like this in a book?
Yeah.
Where the panels are destroyed and falling over?
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before.
That's so cool. I don't really see it a lot.
Well, you have to be a Gary Frank level artist to do it.
Oh, do you really? Does he do more? There be more Gary Frank books.
Well, I'm just saying that, if you don't have that kind of talent, you can't do those kind of layouts.
That's why it hasn't been done a lot recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone's the bomb's going off. Tariq's absorbing it, even taking her radiation. The president's fine. They even mentioned it's like, sorry, it's called the General or he's talking to the general. He's like, Lydia is like, yeah. She's like, yeah, Rita's afraid. We're trying to, because she disobeyed orders. She started rescuing people if she wasn't supposed to. We get the old man preaching, telling him, hey, Ashley, you have to help the people because people are dying here. He can't absorb all the radiation. So at the end, she's cured here at the beginning here. She's like, oh my gosh, the light's gone. But you see, next page, like he's like, you need to help him, and he goes over there. We got Barney is chasing, is going to go help his master or his owner. And the last minute, she decides to help him save Tariq. Somewhere along the line, off camera, especially after they basically mend up, she's amazed that he's not trying to hurt her, after she did all this, and he still is kind to her, shows compassion, but she ends up leaving without, basically pulling a Batman stunt. Basically, Tariq realizes, and he says, like, Ashley asked if there was ever a time where the light, I could go without rods. There's light without rods, and he said there was. He goes back and the kids from the very first volume, and pretty much they give him joy, give him a reason. And is happy reading with this. I love this from volume 1. Finally seeing those characters again, and I realized something. Junkyard Joe has kids. Geiger has kids involved in this stuff too. It's like, it's kind of cool. Even Redcoat. There's some type of kids in there that helps the hero out, or at least in some way. We get some epilogue 1 and epilogue 2. Pretty much, it says it shows him. He's able to the president here is able to find their trail by radiation. So that's what you're talking about, that, Jeff. Also, he says that the Junkyard Joe owner here on the right side says, "Oh yeah, the stupid knight stabbed with a sword. We never saw it. I know, Jay. If you're still in chat, you're triggered by that. I don't know if he actually did stab her or not, but all I know is he wants Joe to lead this other Junkyard Joe army. Pretty much, that's his whole goal. And at the end, epilogue 2 on this side is we see basically a callback to Ash's origins, where people are being held as slaves, and it's her turn to come out of the caravan. She's like, nope. So she's basically inspired by Tariq. She's going around helping people. That's what it looks like. She's just gonna start saving people. And it's revealed that the scientists, they left them locked up in the jail cell again because they can't trust them. But overall, just an awesome issue. But number 1 issue of the week for me, Supergirl. She's just fun. Straight up getting a Supergirl story and just being aimed for all ages, and not having anything in here that's bad or good or preachy. Or we finally get the origin reveal. This is my origin story. The girl from the first issue, like I called it, from Kandor, she pretty much was jealous the fact that Supergirl has everything, an easy life, and nobody pays attention to me. Blah blah blah. My parents, even though she's exceptionally smart, she's looked down upon. So she decides she somehow frees herself with a Kandor bottle. I don't know if they could do that. That was one thing I had a problem with. How are they able to get out? But apparently she built a device that allowed her to escape. Now she has the power of the sun. But then it started changing her. So then she used this device, because she's a scientist, allows her to make herself look like Linda Danvers. Use a hypno ray on Linda's parents, make them believe that she's the real Supergirl. And then now she's confronted by the real Supergirl, and she releases Titano. So Supergirl does what she has to do. She gets people out of the way, and she battles Titano. And she's hoping that this girl doesn't know about Titano's kryptonite rays. And of course, at the end, the crowd cheers for Supergirl, the real Supergirl, and the kryptonite ray had hit the fake Supergirl. This caused her disguise to come apart, and they all, oh, she's a fake and all and stuff. She's not, and at the end, I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, Supergirl's battle of monsters, apes. Supergirl's super fake. Plus, gargantuan gorilla shrinks to the size of a kitten. Crypto's got it in his mouth. And then we get the other two girls here, talking with her, talking about, you're at the Linda and stuff. It's like, and like, now to your back, you want to come here? And they're arguing what she should do. And she's at the point where she's like thinking about everything else. And she calls up to her one friend because she needs help, with her costume and everything else, because she's not really that smart and stuff. So she goes for phone a friend. And of course, we get Lena Luthor, who's got this shaved head. That's the only downside to this issue. And I agree with you, Breen. She's got the punk look and stuff like this. I don't know. I guess it's a modern thing. If this had been Silver Age, no, she wouldn't have had that shaved head. So
no, it's just a little too on the nose. But yeah, I said,
yeah,
if that's the only gripe I can come up with,
yeah,
in 2 issues, I'll take it.
And so they they go through her costume. I love this because since the girl after the costumes there, they're gonna go through new costumes. Meanwhile, we got the girl. She's gonna use black kryptonite, and she's gonna try and steal Supergirl's powers. I think that's what kryptonite does, right? The black one. But Lena and Supergirl go through all her costumes over the years. And she makes comments like, hey, how does that first one even stay on? No. This is really cool. Finally, at the end, Supergirl decides on the classic costume, and then the new girl has her own costume now. And she's got thighs, bro. And then, yeah, that's how it ends. Fun issue. Eric, obviously you enjoyed that. I don't know if that was your number one, but I told you my books can interchange. They were all great. I also got the back issue magazine came out this month, or this week, I should say. Which was, Grace is it? Yeah. Looking forward to reading this. And apparently, it's 160 supposed to be the swimsuit edition. We're suing them somewhere. So I'll be looking forward to that issue when it comes out. But
It's scheduled for next week.
Is it really?
That happens a lot with tomorrow's stuff. When they catch up, they generally put out a couple things back to back.
Yeah. So, looking forward to reading this. I can quickly go through my back issues if you want, or if you want to wait.
Go ahead.
All right. This week's back issues. Let me move this stuff. Controversial for 50 cents. The Justin Trudeau version. We got some Punisher Final Days. Walks in like a gangbuster. Yeah, he uses that term a lot. I'm like, what the heck is my gangbuster? Because the first thing I think of is Superman, John Byrne. That one guy, was he called Gangbuster? Or
Yes.
And then Superman was moonlighting as him for a while.
But there's also a phrase from back in the day called coming in like gangbusters.
I've never heard that before, other than over with the E.
It's like coming in hot. You're coming in like really aggressive.
Well, yeah, coming in hot sounds it's more frequently used, and especially LA. I've been noticing that a lot. But yeah, get to them at all 4 issues. Zach, I thought you were showing up. Is that you're in the chat still? He must be making food. Yep. Issue 4. The Judgment of Magneto. Didn't we just have the trial? I guess that's the follow up to it.
Issue 200.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that must the judgment's after the trial. All right. Got me some Supergirl this week.
Zach endangering everybody texting while driving.
Well, he's probably just doing voice to text. Not everybody has flip phones like you guys. So. The Romance Machine. All right. These are just fun books. I'm guessing Breen's eating.
I'm just eating a couple mouthfuls of popcorn.
it's like I noticed you made yourself. It's really quiet. We want food. We want food. That's you started the right group, Supergirl. Now we can punish even you. It's awesome. Yep. Look, Zach, a dinosaur.
Doritos flavored popcorn is awesome.
I'm going to shop tomorrow, so I'll probably if it's there. But I saw that just the whole idea of Cheetos popcorn we were talking about earlier, and like I was just like,
it's just cheddar cheese popcorn.
These ones were like popcorn flavored Cheeto puffs. They're big puffs.
Yeah, I said we talked about that backstage. I don't care for those, but yeah, I mean cheddar cheese popcorn. Yeah, that used to be a staple of bowling alleys when I was a kid. And yeah, I could eat that stuff all day.
Yeah. Were these actually 21 pages, or were they shorter?
They're generally, full length.
Okay.
Some of them had, when they went up to 48 pages, they had Zatanna backup stories.
Yep. Don't worry, Supergirl. I can handle it. There's that costume again. So this is my favorite cover that I got tonight. I just love that. All the heroes, classic Silver Age heroes, who are just bust again.
Yep.
And they all have sunglasses. Don't know why. Of course, this one, final issue for the Supergirl I got. And then final back issue of the night. It's X Factor, number 60. Brother battles brother. Oh, brother. All right. Who wants to go next?
Jeff does.
Jeff, do you want to go next?
Yep.
All right.
Alrighty then.
I'm like texting at red lights. Dude, I do that all the time. If it's a red light, sure. But if I feel like I'm driving, no.
Okay, so I have 9, and then a couple of other things. Let's see, number 9.
Number 9.
Beatles reference, by the way, which will also be my last getting of this.
What's that? You're dipping out of Absolute Batman?
Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. It's just. Now, hey, is that other Batman thing that you did earlier? I thought that was a
Dark Patterns.
Huh?
Dark Patterns is an ongoing.
Oh, really? 'Cause I was just gonna wait for the for the trade, but I guess I'm gonna have to start getting into it. But
Somebody
yeah,
had said it might be a 12-issue limited series, but I don't think so.
But yeah, no. Number 8, which I was surprised you didn't get.
No, I dropped that book.
I
kicked it to the curb. I said no more.
They are.
You know, Venkman, if you'd been a girl collector, you would have just driven it onto the curb.
Oh, damn it!
Where do you think I found the Supergirls? On the curb.
Is that a liquid spitter?
Yeah, I
Yes.
got.
Does your nose burn?
No, it came up through my throat, not my nose, fortunately. But they managed to get out of the thing, and it turns out that what's his name, the trainee, turns out to be kind of a big badass, and they're all heading. What's her name is trapped in the other world, the dream thing, and it's weird, but I don't know. I may or may not. 987, Batman and Robin, 22. They're still trying to find that guy who
Memento.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem with some of these storylines is they just take them a little too long. They could have done this more effectively in half the time. But it's still pretty good. I'm wanting them to get done with this so they can move on to other things. But the British detective that was also one of the people that he trained with figured out that he was Batman without even being told. She called him by a name that he only knew him. She's like, "How stupid do you think I am? Didn't you think I could figure it out?" But they had to go to Etrigan to get him help to figure out some clues, and so it looks like they're getting close to being.
I mean, can't they just trace all his gadgets to Wayne Enterprise?
What's that?
Can't they trace all everything he's made to Wayne Enterprise, the R&D research? You'd think the batarangs. Oh, that's a certain metal that's used by, Wayne Industries.
9, 8. Number 6. We went over this, so I really liked it. I've seen some chatter online that people are complaining about the thickness, but
Yeah, hey, at least it's they didn't make Supergirl to be a lesbian.
true. But I really don't see the problem with the thickness. I mean,
there are girls that have thick thighs.
Yes, and that still doesn't make them ugly. I mean, there's a few of them that you see and you're like, damn, that's nice.
They should make her fat and evil too. But yeah, some girls are probably what are they trying to say, that she's fat? They're fat shaming, make her evil.
9, 8, 7, 6. Number 5. Something that's killing the children. Number 42. This is another thing with Erica as a kid when she's first being brought in to she's still in her training, and they're going to a city to investigate some murders. And the woman that's training her is kind of a obnoxious drunk, but she's still the one that trained her. And
she's only a punch drunk.
Huh?
She's only punch drunk.
No, the woman, the trainer, she's first thing she does when she goes into the hotel is like, "Where's the bar?" So,
I mean it as Constantine.
Which I'm sure have a word that a sentence that neither Breen nor I have ever asked when we were at someplace.
Well, no, you actually said while you're drunk. Where's the bar? Because you couldn't figure out where it was.
Okay, so 4, I think this is Geiger.
Mhm.
Very good. Love it.
Wrap cover.
Yes.
Yeah. I was torn. I'm like, should I get both? I'm like, no, I'll just get the main cover.
3. I wanted to get that Batman and Robin one, but the only one that they had was the Squirrel cover. And with the amount of money I was spending, I did not want to pay for
Extra
the amount
$4.
of the Squirrel cover.
My shop sells them for $10.
The Squirrel ones?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that'd be about, number 2. I'm not as enthused with the art as you, but it is nice, and I really liked it, so I will definitely be getting number 2.
Well, to be fair, I can tell what's going on in the books. That's why I like the art.
Yeah.
I've seen them worse.
It's not like early Jai League where you can't tell anything.
Well, that person has been
Early?
around for a while.
What's that?
That artist has been around for a while, so I mean, that's
Also, you say early Jai Lee. What's the difference between early and now?
Yes.
honestly, he's become kind of a funhouse mirror effect of himself.
You're saying he didn't suck back at
it wasn't nearly as exaggerated.
But back in the day, he was working on like Wildcats, and I couldn't tell who was talking. They had to, he had to be when like one person called another person. That's when you knew who that other person was. You just couldn't. I couldn't tell because it was so bad. But that was just my own thing.
Well, there only has 2 cats in a plane.
Then number 1. Very good.
Cover B.
Love this series. As you know, I'm a big horror fan. And then there's 2 things that I got.
He said horror.
Huh?
No. He said he's a horror fan. Okay.
Horror fan. Horror and, well, take it whichever way you want. I could be one or both, depending on how you want to look at it. I got this. And this.
Nice.
Okay, then earlier this week, I have a habit of doing this. I'll stop by the Tidal Wave, the used bookstore, on my way to the store. Got a problem. And check. But I got a couple things that I really liked. One of them I've already finished. The complete Bendis Moon Knight. Issues 1 through 12. That's the one where he's the Hollywood producer.
And he has Spider-Man and Wolverine with him.
Yes, in his head.
Yeah.
Pretty good. He does have a tendency to get a tad bit wordy, but not as bad as Wade. But and Lucem, that's 2 Fs, by the way. And then this I had to get. It was only $20, something like that, a little bit. The Phantom, the complete series, the Gold Key Years, Volume 1.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Come in.
And it has a little introduction by couldn't say who this is. Ed Rhodes. I'm not sure if you know who that is or I don't know who it is.
I don't know.
But it gives a little, it's one thing I like about these, they give a little history of it.
Who published that?
This is
Fantagraphics?
Hermes Press.
Oh, Hermes Press, okay.
No, they're good too.
Yeah.
And then it just goes and I think these are the early collections of the
Golden Age.
Yeah,
No.
the
Silver Age.
So it is Silver Age, right? Yeah. But the art looks like Golden Age, though. I love that.
And it's
Well, actually, it's pretty much the Gold Key House style.
yeah.
I was reading a Magnus from the mid '60s yesterday.
Robot.
Pretty much same thing.
And so it's
It looks old. That's what I like about it.
yeah, and it's Gold Key has. I don't think they put anything out in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, they Gold. Yeah, because
I know it's like the 70s and possibly into the 80s. I think.
I know they were published by Gold Key, King, and Charlton, but I don't know if the King books preceded Gold Key. I believe they did, but not 100% sure.
All right. Is that it?
Yep.
All right. Zach says he's driving home, or he was.
So, Mr. Bink's sitting here yet?
Not yet.
All right. Guess we'll have to cut the line.
Lift Lump up and make her dance. We'll distract people.
She actually took off for the first time, and the whole time we've been doing this. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked yesterday was a magazine dump. So Cryptology number 3. I'm halfway through this. Some really cool articles about Mars attacks and the card series, how much controversy it stirred up. Because it was 1962 when there were like people getting eviscerated, dogs getting murdered brutally.
What series was this?
Mars Attacks.
Oh,
Cows being mutilated.
Let's see, Retro Fan.
Mod Squad. Flintstones.
women stampeded, cattle being raped.
I was just watching a thing with Andrea Romano. She did the voice directing for Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and then she did what was it? Donald Duck. That's cool.
She also did that for the Batman animated series.
Yep. Justice League. And she was talking about with Jim Cummings and talking about how she got in charge of the Boondocks. She said she's like, I felt so out of place here, but she got to work with Samuel Jackson, and then because her job is she'll read roles with people, so she'll read them the text of the character so that the person can reply back when they're recording. And she said she had to use the N-word in one of these guys, and she's like, I felt so out of place.
Speaking of out of place, hi Zach.
There he is. There's the raccoon.
I told you. 20 minutes less. Like Domino's Pizza. They should do that thing 20 minutes or less.
That's my paper now.
A substitute for when you want something good but you can't afford it.
That's all.
Any more books, or we're just gonna stare at the cat?
Yeah, well, no. You guys were carrying on a conversation, so there was no reason for me to show anything. And you guys and the audience was looking at Coco anyway.
I was looking at Coco.
Blood type. That's it. I want to see more personality out of the vampire, other than just that everything's food and fodder. But we'll see.
I'm gonna get Pixel to draw you and Coco. Coco Chavez.
Number 7, Green Lantern Corps. This wasn't bad. We got like the little whatever kind of creature that Guy's been training. We find out there's way more to him than we thought, which was kind of cool. Now I'm sure Zach will go into more detail on that.
And I'm sure they're having trouble with her being stuck there. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more with her being stuck in that.
Absolute tiny head.
Absolute tiny head, tiny baby head.
Tiny baby head.
Absolute Batman. I'll let Zach go into more detail on that because I said to me it's stupid fun. No more, no less. Batman and Robin. Yeah, I said they're still looking for Memento. They think it might be Atticus Bly.
Yeah.
That lady that's been working with Batman. I guess they're looking for Damien. I guess those kids in the sewers are looking for Damien too. And they
Damien got kidnapped, right?
Yeah, they run in. Well, I this is only my second issue back.
She's like, "You're not gonna pet me. I'm leaving."
You are.
That's literally was.
That's what they do. That's how cats go.
That's all. Yeah, so she's been.
It's attention when they want it, not when they don't.
Well, all right, number 5, Aquaman. This was very good. I love the story, but man, you realize how good John Timms is until he's not there. No disrespect to this fill-in artist, but
yeah,
Flash Gordon, we get Tom Derenick when Will Conrad, came on. We get David Messina on Ultimate Spider-Man when Marco Cicchetto needs an issue off. This one, like I said, not bad, but nowhere near as good as the regular artist.
I'm just waiting for the middle of the review. Go even the wires, you idiot.
Batman Dark Patterns. This excellent book. Venkman talked about it in
Yeah.
great detail. So that's
What was your favorite part in that? Did you have one, or did you just like it over in general?
you know what? Probably when he was soaking his fist, because it shows that Batman is human.
Yep.
And it shows that there are repercussions for what he does. Unlike Superman, who can do punch planets. Batman.
It's so nice. Yeah, the blood and going in the water and everything. I love the bandages. Like you see a face on the bandage and blood. It's like
number 2, Geiger. We talked about that. This was an excellent issue, and I think the reason why Venkman and I both have our 2 and 1 being the same is that, fair or unfair, I expect Geiger to be great, even if it's not, my.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'd rather, I like Red Coat better because I'm not dystopian. Landscapes just don't really do it for me. But it's the fact that this book is so good that I, keep coming back every month.
Like I mentioned, every book has the character interacting with kids, and that really brings the book up. For this issue, him reuniting with the kids at the end was really good. It shows that he's actually no longer self-pity. He's actually gonna be a hero.
The human being is still in there.
Yeah.
Number 1, Supergirl. This is the most comic book I've read in years. Even the cover, she's. This
is talk was he accurate too? Remember?
This Supergirl is a far cry from what we were seeing just a couple months ago, but that's okay. She's gone on to she left to go find herself, I guess, and
she's not wearing a stupid leather jacket.
No, and she's not a girl boss bitch. She's a girl again. She's like super girl, and I like the interaction with Lena Luthor, as we talked about. I said I could do without shaved head, but that's my only gripe so far. Leslie Lar, going back to the drawing board and coming up and said, okay, you didn't want me as the hero, I'll be the villain.
Leslie Lar's a Silver Age villain too.
Hot Pants Supergirl is back. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I bet you Zach didn't get this though.
And Black Cat point, I said they already. Sophie Campbell already had to come out and say that she's not, the Supergirl and Lena aren't going to be in a romance together. So what I'm worried about is that the toxic, because we're not the toxic fans, we know who are going to put so much pressure on him to make this book an LBGT, Alpha Mafia representative book. If he can stay away from that, then this is going to be I think this book can last a while, because I think it's really caught people off guard at how good it actually is.
I would assume if it's 2 in a row like this, I would assume that maybe they want people to play it. They want the creators to play it safe because Supergirl is supposed to be the next big movie, and they don't want to. That
might keep it on the. I don't mean to be, no pun intended, the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
But this version is. I don't think this version is anywhere near what the one in the movie is going to be.
Probably not. Yeah.
But she's kind of a girly girl in this, and we haven't seen that version of her probably since the Daring Adventures of Supergirl. That was out right before the Crisis, because the only really good Supergirl series that's come out post Crisis was Peter David, but that wasn't Supergirl either.
No,
I mean it was a book called Supergirl, and there were elements of it. And one of the things that post-crisis DC did very well was provide nods and winks to the Silver Age and the Bronze Age. And Peter David did that excellently in Supergirl.
See, I liked the Mariko Tamaki up in the sky. the one they did in 2018.
What,
Was?
Supergirl being super?
I think that was where she was back to
I
his kid.
never read it.
That was the one everybody complained about because she had the super zit.
But I didn't like. I mean, like I said, I didn't mind the series that came out of the Batman Superman story that Jeff Loeb and Michael Turner did. But the
art was very much carrying that.
Well, it just I don't know. I get that they lean heavily into the Kryptonian heritage now at DC.
Yeah.
But this book is actually mixing it with, her humanity also.
Yep.
So 2 issues in, more than pleasantly surprised, and I'm looking forward to issue 3 already.
I mean, I don't mind that she's raised by the Danvers, but I mean, I always liked the animated Bruce Timm version which probably was a Kryptonian, where she was raised by the Kents,
Well, yeah, that's I prefer the Danvers version because that was the Silver Age. She was adopted by them, and I said they brought them back. Peter David brought them back, but but the Linda Danvers was kind of a kind of a delinquent, that could have gone like into full lawbreaker, and she merged with the Matrix Supergirl. Yeah, and I thought that was a really interesting idea.
I gotta ask, but the Danvers version, was it just like you saw on the CBS Supergirl, where Superman's like, "Can you watch over my teenage cousin?" and then leaves?
No, they in the comics, when she first came out of the rocket ship, she said, "Oh, am I going to go live with you?" And he goes, "Oh no, that would never do. Here, drop her off, drop her in an orphanage." But then she was eventually adopted by the Danvers. But anyway,
that's horrible. If he left her in an orphanage, like, that's reckless. She's Kryptonian.
Batman #9 and FF #6.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But great week this week, and I'll show my back issues after Zach does his stuff.
All right, go have supper.
No, I
do your stuff, Zach.
Go have supper. I've got back issues too.
I know, and as I said, go eat free.
It's been a fun week. Anyway, Breen's like, Zach will go over this. Zach didn't have a chance to read anything between yesterday and today because I've been making money, hopefully. But I did get a bunch of books here. I am looking forward to reading them. I'm so glad I missed most of the spoilers, it sounds like. I did pick up, of course, Jeremy Adams' Aquaman. Did not take a look at the cover and did not realize that Timms was not drawing the interior.
Yeah,
blinded by the Timms cover.
I
really hope that John Timms becomes like the next Dan Mora or something because I want to see him draw more books.
Yeah, we talked about the top 5 or how he's not on there, and then Gary Frank's off Geiger for the next 2 issues.
Who's this? Well, Gary Frank's name is on the cover.
No, I meant the interior. After this issue, he's gone for 2 issues.
Well, it's just 2 issues. That'll be okay.
Well, hopefully the other guy is good.
Who's taking over? Do you know?
I have to look up.
Okay.
What's that?
We got Green Lantern Corps, issue number 5, Space Caddy. Guy Gardner's in it. That's all.
Eman Winkle.
I have no idea who that is.
Right?
That'll be
Space Caddy, by the way.
He worked on Army of Darkness Forever, The Fog,
Didn't read
Sisterhood, a Hyde Street story.
Nope.
Come out this year. Yeah, he's on that. He's doing a cover on that.
Picked up the new Transformers. We are on issue number 21. 4 issues until Daniel Warren Johnson leaves, sadly, unless he surprises everybody and announces he's staying on. This cover is awesome, though. I do like this cover.
Issue 24 is billed as the last one of Comic Geeks. There's nothing after that.
For Geiger or Transformers?
Transformers. Daniel Warren Johnson.
I don't think that.
Unless they're launching a new series.
That'd be weird to just end it at 24. That'd be.
Really I know, right? That's
unless they split it up into 2 titles,
right?
Maybe, I don't know. I did pick up Bane, of course, Absolute Bane. I love how the story arc is titled Abomination because that's what Bane's creator called this picture. Well, not Gary Conway. Who was it? I forgot his doggone name.
Chuck Dixon?
No, not Dixon. The other one.
Profile?
Who created Bane? Graham
Chuck-
Nolan?
Might have been Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon.
Might have been Graham Nolan that tweeted out that this picture was an abomination. And so Scott Snyder said, well, that sounds like a good story arc name. So he named the story arc Abomination.
Yeah, because Scott Snyder has no respect for the creators.
Oh, what are you talking about? It's hilarious. Graham Nolan just has his panties in a bunch. I think this band will fly.
Yeah, when you create something and somebody ruins it.
What are you talking about? The Batman and Robin movie ruined Bane. What are you talking about? That Bane was dumber than this one was.
You know what, though? His body proportions are actually correct.
His
It was a real guy.
Looked dumb.
It was an actual real guy. He's a bodybuilder. Jeep Swenson.
It looked dumb. I'm sorry. It just
And he
looked
didn't
dumb.
speak what? He didn't speak one word in that, though. So he can't really say he's a bad Bane.
Yeah. Also picked up this. I decided to bite the bullet. I'm going to give issue 1 a trial run. We'll see how this goes. It could either be really good or it could be really bad. So I'll keep y'all in the loop on this.
Ooh,
Rhaegar, of all your takes, that is the most incorrect. It is not.
It was an
10 out
accurate.
of 10 film. It is a 10 out of 10 toy commercial. It is not a 10 out of 10 film. Oh my goodness. Okay. I also picked up a nice little stack here at the Second and Charles, which is kind of like our half price books. I got a bunch of Judd Winnick Outsider titles, starting with, I couldn't find issues 1 or 2, but apparently they made a double feature collecting the sold out issues 1 and 2. So I'll, take what I can get. So I got that right there. The slightly more grown up, edgier version of Jeff John's Teen Titans run. I also, now these are going to be a little bit out of order, but we got Outsiders number 34 here. I didn't realize that Katana and Boomerang joined the team.
Man.
Well, this is during the 1 year later, so that would make
I looked up and I was like, Outsiders, Zach, no. They realized it's the older ones.
The older ones, yes. This is from the good era, the golden era of DC.
Well, they brought back the bullets. That's why I was like,
where Captain Marvel Jr. was on the team for a second.
They bought that logo back. That's why I was like, I had to look at the bullet.
Oh no! I checked the writer. I checked the creative team. Yeah, no. So this is with the Metamorpho. I don't think it was even Metamorpho. I think it was like a clone of his or something.
UPC's on the front, even on the bag. Put it on the back.
No. The UPC. Yeah, this is just a sticker from the.
I know. Put it on the back because it never comes off.
Oh no! I'm gonna put these on. No, these peel off. They peel off.
Not always. Sometimes
No, these do. These will. I'm pretty sure. We're gonna test my theory.
Because I've had ones where they
No,
just stick.
you're right. You can peel them off, but you got to be very careful, or it's gonna leave residue. I got new bags anyway that I can put these in if it
Well, I'm like for $9 for bags. Some of these bags I get. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep reusing the bags.
Number 28, Starfire joins the team. I remember that because
Is that Knockout?
The Teen Titans roster, huh?
Is that Knockout? Who's the redhead on the right?
That's Grace Choi.
I've never heard of her.
Grace Choi and Thunder, Black Lightning's daughter, they were in a relationship together. And then Jade was on the team. Who is this guy? Is that the Metamorpho? That's probably the Metamorpho clone. Grace Choi, she didn't have a superhero name, though. She was just like a really super... She was almost just like a super soldier.
She just sacked.
She's also butches all get out, but...
Oh, she's like Gina Carano as far as arm.
I tatted up.
Yeah.
Gina Carano, that was in the girls. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she was
so
actually
Knockout.
she was into guys too, but she used guys for sex, but she had relationships with women.
There you go.
That was her character.
So
I mean, at least she's smart and she admits it now that you need guys for sex.
That's
Because I think she banged Roy.
Also picked up this. I'm going to start down this journey. Incredible Hercules. This is
One of the best series at that time.
That's when they went gay, right?
No,
Rick
that was when he was.
Stan Lin. No, that was god awful Guardians of the Galaxy.
No,
I'm
he was
just saying,
running around with. He was running around with Amadeus Cho, who was cool.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
Yes.
anybody who knows him now, he's gay, and they're like, oh, and his brother had sex?
no, well, he
Because
was
that's his free
Avengers,
card. They're all in the incest and all the weird crap.
No, he was in that Avengers story during what was it, Blood Hunt or whatever? They didn't bring that up in that.
Well, that's a decay. If Steve Orlando,
Yeah, well, that's true.
he's smoking
Yeah, so
sausages.
this is him. He's teamed up with Amadeus Cho. They're fugitives from Shield and the Avengers, and he's fighting Ares, which is his brother.
Here, Rhaegar. Kind of
Yeah,
a joke.
it's gonna be fun. There's like 4 or 5 more of these at the shop. So as soon as I go through this,
Rhaegar, you took my joke. I was gonna say that she's dating a Choi.
Final issue I got. Pa will be proud. I took all the rest of my birthday money, but I think it was worth it. We got
That's my boy.
Thor 337, very first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. I love this trade dress.
He's using Mjolnir?
Yeah. That's not Stormbreaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's worthy of lifting Mjolnir, and then Odin creates Stormbreaker for him.
So when they brought him on, they have him Thor knocked out
Thor
or whatever.
was there. I think Thor
Or was it like
there.
the black, like the what was it? Green Lantern with Jon Stewart, the backup Thor.
No, Thor was still around. Like he wasn't off in like Odin sleep or anything.
Yeah, he was there. He and Beta Ray Bill fought.
Yeah.
And Beta Ray Bill, I think, won. So he basically earned the right to hold Mjolnir, but it belonged to Thor. And Odin was impressed, so he had the troll that makes all the weapons, craft Stormbreaker for him. And then he went off to fight. Because I think he had come to Asgard to get help or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he went off to fight, and Sif went with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Thor went back to Earth, but he was no longer the Donald Blake. He no longer had Donald Blake's alter ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan of that. I like the
another
Donald
first appearance, by the way, in this book, besides Beta Ray Bill and the Scuttlebutt, there is another first appearance.
So
no prize to anyone that guesses who it is.
Well, I just want to know because he sold Mjolnir. Is this after the battle, or is this like when they were friends?
I think this is just him holding Mjolnir just for dramatic.
Just for dramatic for cover.
So people are like, "Who is this guy? Why does he have Mjolnir?" And then,
and yeah, I have to disagree with you, Van. Donald Blake had run its course.
When they brought it back, man, in the early 2000s, I loved it.
Well, they didn't bring it back in the 2000s. They brought back Jake Olsen. They brought in a character named Jake Olsen. It was Donnie Cates that brought him back, and he bastardized it.
Well, no, he was brought back in the 2000s. It was actually Donald Blake. He went into the void. That was during Straczynski's run.
I do not remember that.
This also happens to be the very first appearance of Lorelei, one of the Asgardian witchy.
Yeah, that's Amora's sister.
I'm talking about during Siege. Don't you remember? That was Donald Blake and Thor.
I don't remember Donald Blake being there, but maybe he was. But either way, it set up a great scene where he was. Yeah, he needed a job and a secret identity, but he was Thor sized.
Yeah.
So Nick Fury pulls out a pair of glasses and says, "Here, put these on." They always work for that other guy. And then when he leaves the office, he knocks over Clark Kent, who's in the hallway with Lois. That's Thor 341. If anybody wants to check it out, it's very, very funny.
That's it. That's all I got.
I go.
Feel free to keep it on me all you want, but that's all I got.
I also didn't StreamYard froze and then you were frozen too, and I was like,
I was counting on you to have some more stuff because I fired up a smoky treat, so it'll be another minute before I can get to my back issues.
You can smoke on camera. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Well, I don't think I have anything really worth showing. Y'all have seen.
You could be on camera smoking a cigar, puffing, smoking, and showing books if I wouldn't care. I just treat it like Larry King show. Got a heater in my eye and it's talking. So
Yeah, Zach, the Incredible Hulk becomes Incredible Hercules
Yes.
with issue 112.
Yes. Which is in this.
Yeah, so
the
you have
very-
the first.
the very first, right at the start of the Hercules.
I want to say it lasts to like 141 or 142.
apparently,
There's an Assault on Olympus 2-issue series
Mm-hmm.
also that. Yeah, I said I loved Incredible Hercules, but Marvel was
Hercules, yeah, he's one
Marvel
of
was
those
so
heroes.
good at that time.
I didn't get into Hercules until much later. There was a short-lived Hercules series, and I forgot who wrote it. He didn't have Amadeus Cho with him, I don't believe. He was kind of like this down and out hero. Like he was trying to get sober, and there were other he had some of this like ancient Greek weaponry. I think he was like rooming with Gilgamesh. It wasn't a very long lasting series. I think it might have lasted 6 or 12 issues.
I remember after that Incredible Hercules, there was a short series just called Herc.
That might be it. That might be it.
And I don't remember. I don't think Amadeus Cho was part of that.
No, he wasn't a part of that. So this would have been from 2010. Yeah, it would have been from 2010 to 2011. This is the one that I read. Yeah, this
it was good.
Pack.
Yeah,
it was Pack and Fred Van Lint.
Yeah,
which is who's on this Hercules right here. But it
Greg
was
Pak
after what was called Chaos War.
Yeah, have you read that?
No, I haven't. No,
I read that. I read that recently.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was because basically Hercules is forced to become a strategist,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got like his powers are all souped up, and I don't remember what happened to him after the miniseries, but it was going on at the same time that other events at Marvel. It was like right around the same time as Fear Itself.
Fear Itself.
So I'm
yeah,
not sure
I see that
exactly
here,
where
yeah.
it fits in.
Yeah. Yeah, Chaos War. So it says, at the Herc series, it says Chaos War left Hercules powerless. So instead, he takes 3,000. Herc takes his 3,000 years of combat experience, and he raids an armory of Ares for weapons. And I remember this because basically he had this mix of like ancient Greek magic weapons, but then he also had like assault rifles and rocket launchers and stuff. So it was actually, I thought it was kind of cool. But then, yeah, like I said, he was like rooming with Gilgamesh, and he was also like, he was like trying to get sober, but then I think they tricked him. I don't know who was it that tricked him. There was some other like new god, I guess, that came along that had tricked him. But I liked it. Yeah, it tied into Spider Island too, I guess. I remember Spider Island. Oh boy, they gave Hercules spider powers.
Yeah, something happened at Marvel between 2012. 2012 was when it started really cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, because A versus X was not good.
I still had fun with A versus X. I really did. There were parts of that I really enjoyed. They had the little spin-off series. It was called Versus, and it was just Avengers fighting X-Men. It was like just fights. And
Yeah, it was Mortal Kombat.
It was Mortal Kombat. There was like a Psylocke versus Daredevil story, or a Thing versus Namor, and it was just a fight, and it was fun. I loved it. Gambit versus Captain America.
Yeah, and then after that, well, because the events prior to that, yeah, I said Fear Itself had good side stories,
Yeah.
but the miniseries itself was fairly heavily criticized. But I mean, everything leading up to that was so well done. And then when you think about how fast it all started falling apart, that 4 years later, it was, 5 years later, we were in, all new, all different, all, replaced heroes era. But anyway, went to the Dayton Comic Expo over the weekend. It's going to take me several weeks to show these, but this is what I'm basically just ones I've read so far. Doctor Strange 44, 46.
Nice.
54.
These are pretty.
There's Fantastic Four 116. The Overmind has taken over Reed Richards' and they have to go to Doctor Doom for help.
Yep.
Great job with some art and a full-length story. This was the Marvel 10-year anniversary, so they published their books giant-sized.
Mm.
There's Hulk Special number 4.
Hulk is special.
Hulk 126, which is considered the first like preamble to the Defenders because Doctor Strange shows up in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is Submariner 22, and then Marvel Feature 1, and the Defenders are off and running. Here's Iron Man 136. $141. 142. And this time in Iron Man history is so damn good.
I love those boots.
146.
Hey, it's that guy.
The whip.
I thought it was the name.
148. Here's Kid Cold Outlaw 131. For 3 months, they published these giant-sized for no apparent reason. And the first issue of the 1974, Kazar, where
There's a blast from the past.
where he's lamenting his relationship with Bobby Morse. They can't be together.
Aw.
She's a city gal and he's a jungle guy.
I mean, they don't hurt
Also
people.
married to a circus archer.
That was still 10 years away.
Don't they hurt people? Him and Bobby.
Power Man Iron Fist 67.
Ooh.
And for again, I said when people talk about the 80s, this was I said every Marvel book was good this time. So
I have that one. I actually have that one.
Yeah, it's just like a continuation from one of the Miller Daredevil issues.
Mm-hmm. But it's a better artist than Miller.
If you have a guy that makes Luke Cage look small, that's scary. That guy dwarfed him.
Number 90.
I'm pretty sure I have that one too. Is this
Batman.
what Green feels like all the time when we show back issues? Like, oh, I have that one.
Yeah, Batman 226.
All I know is the one we showed before that, the guy with the ginger and the beard. I thought that's Zach on the cover.
I'm not a ginger.
Green Lantern 134.
Oh, covered in snow.
135. 136.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool cover.
Justice Inc. number 2.
What about Justice pencils? Or Justice colors? What about the Justice letterer? Nobody thinks about the Justice letter.
I mean, the letterer. World's Finest 272.
Oh.
Yeah, imagine the artist complaining not getting paid for work. The letterer can't even start his own car.
That's right. 274. 279.
Actually, I wonder what is the page rate difference between letterers and artists?
Look. Here's Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig.
Ooh.
The cover is newsprint on this.
Wow.
Yeah, I can tell.
Here's Jughead 131. This was the only Archie book I found at the show. There really just weren't that many. There wasn't any old stuff that I really saw.
Well, you got to come up here. I have 2 long boxes of all Archie.
There was plenty of that stuff, that era, but I'm looking for 10 and 12, early 12 centers.
Yeah.
This is Magnus Robot Fighter number 6.
Hey, that's Gold Key.
Outer Limits number 16.
Who put the Swamp Thing in space?
I know we ranked this cover.
Yeah, it's the hedge monster.
Yeah, this was really good actually. And
Not for them.
the hardest Atlas series to find, Vicky
Wow.
#2. So I'm halfway there.
Oh wow.
There's only 2 books.
There's 4. I've found 2 of them this time around. And here's
My shop had both Blade Runners.
Just Married
Wow.
#31 and
The Stranger in the House.
Young Romance 170. And there'll be, like I said, I've got another short box filled with stuff I picked up Sunday.
Nice.
So there'll be more show and tell next week.
And that little pun you guys are doing, the letter inker or whatever.
The letterer.
Yeah. I was at the gym the other day and I heard somebody say, "I'm going to give it the old college try." I said Ivy League, state, or community, and she just looked at me and said, "What?" I was like, "Never mind." I thought it was funny,
but it actually was pretty good. But it beats the restraining order you usually get. So I mean,
true.
Well, that was the top of it. All right. Anything else to show, or is that it?
No. So most of the stuff that I showed today, like the Green Lanterns, the Power Mans, and the Iron Mans, all one booth. He was selling them for $2 a piece.
Wow.
And if it had, there were so many really good books from the 70s and 80s in there. It says I have them all now, but if you're just breaking into the hobby, you could have just parked it at that guy's booth. It'd be like, a couple Champions issues from the 70s, tons of Avengers, tons of Fantastic Fours. It's just I had them all. And a lot of them that I paid more than $2 for, so it would have been nice to have found that guy a few years ago. But
that's how I feel every time I go in my shop. It's like I look for back here. She's like, I'll pick up some Supergirls, and I found all those Avengers. Yeah,
that was $2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to find some of the ones like that. The Avenger ones I was getting for I was paying $4 to $6 for some of them.
But this was a booth that it was half off if you paid cash.
Mm-hmm.
So this was marked 20, so I got this for 10.
Wow.
And if you look at it, you can see the spine perfectly clear. I mean, this looks like it came out last week.
Yeah,
Now,
that's clean.
I'm assuming that there's a reason why they do that at cons, is so if it's all cash, they don't have to report it, right?
Well, I'm sure that has something to do with it, but it's also, like I said, you don't have to, cash doesn't eat into your, you don't have to pay any processing fees or anything like that, and you get the money right there. So, I mean, I loved it. I mean, I was at that guy's booth, and I found the romance section. You'll be seeing a lot more of those next week, and then I got picked up. Then I found the horror section. I picked up 11 Tomb of Draculas that were $10, but $5 with cash. So and I go, man, it's starting to pile up, and he added it up, and it came to like $5.98 or something like that, and then cut in half. So it came to $2.97. So I found another $3 book and said, here. So now it's $3. But that was a really, really good stuff for that.
Nice. So whenever I come across books, I get them for really cheap. It's always great. I got those Complete Young Justice for like 50 cents an issue. Yeah. And,
I got 11 Submariners from the 70s, 60s, and 70s series, $2 a piece.
Wow.
That was nice. And I said, these guys were dealing.
Man, sometimes they just want to move product. They don't care.
Yeah,
because they figure it's like it moves it. They take a little cut on the Well, they figure if I can get a bulk sale versus someone just buying $120 book, I can get
Well, there were guys. I tell you, I racked up 3 bills with that guy.
Yeah,
I probably didn't hit his top 10.
Wow.
It's because I saw a guy that he found the like $3 kid Colts, and I swear to God, the stack was like that big.
Wow.
And I would have loved to have gotten a hold of some of those, but then I realized I already spent a ton.
What
So
is with these bots on Twitch over there? I just banned one and no one pops up.
it's like whack a bot.
I know, right? It feels that way. Weird. Best viewer, it's out, and it's weird because YouTube used to be that way, but now Twitch is becoming like bots. It's like, add me on this, add me on this. It's like, no, how about no? Yeah, but all right, nothing else to show.
No, in fact, let's stop showing me. I'm
Is the
bad
cat-
for ratings.
Is the cat on the thing over there?
No, she's disappeared.
Of course she did.
I don't know where she is.
They always do. Alrighty though. I guess perfect time probably to wrap it up then, short week for me. I'm afraid to see what I have for next week actually.
I love this. Not pretty. Hey, guess what's solicited next week?
What's that?
Torpedo 1972.
Hey!
Yay! So
What do I have
next week I have 13 polls.
I've got 7.
One's Black Issue 160, but I don't think it's coming out next week.
I bet it does.
Flash Gordon's
Think
supposed
so?
to come out next week.
They've come out back-to-back weeks several times over the years.
We got Invincible Universe Battle Beast number 2 is coming out next week. Along
Did
with
you
G.I. Joe.
see how many units they moved to the first one?
That is
insane.
Invincible is Kirkman's most famous book other than Walking
And
Dead.
it's blowing up right now too.
Well, I don't know if 400,000 left stores, but still, that's. I mean, it wasn't like Spawn 300 where they had every gimmick in the world.
And with Invincible being a show, it reached more viewers. People are going and buying the books now.
And now they have like video games that they're doing of it.
It's a Mortal Kombat kind of style game coming out next year.
Popular.
Invincible is one of my top favorite series other than The Walking Dead that I've really enjoyed reading through. That's outside of Marvel and DC. And honestly, when I saw Battle Beast coming out, I was like, people were like, it's just kind of boring. It's there's a sense of violence, So I was like, dude, I picked it up because it did tie in to the actual series, from the last time we saw him. This is Adventures Afterwards. And it's just basically Kirkman being old school Kirkman, not today's Kirkman, the way he's writing everything.
Right. Small order from my comic shop today.
Yep.
Some Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Ooh.
1991 Green Hornets. My shop had a Dell Green Hornet yesterday.
Nice.
It was awesome looking.
Jeez.
Single issues of Hercules Unbound, Legends of the Dark Knight, Night Force, and Comics in Review.
Next week is also the Superman Adventures Compendium 1. So they finally collected that. Mark Millar and stuff. We got Pastime number 3, Moon Knight, new issue, G.I. Joe, issue 8. Flash Gordon comes out again.
New guys. World's Finest number 40.
Blood and Thunder number 2 is also like Batman and Robin year 1. And Adventures Comics 210 facsimile with Crypto.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Ryan North.
No, that Ryan North is doing the series. This is the facsimile of the first print.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
2.
So that
I just scared to mess that up.
the first appearance of Crypto. Yeah, well, here we already went over we're showing the inside of the book. It's like, Zach's like, I don't care about a dog.
Well, I love Crypto, but I don't want to read Ryan.
No. But I mean, Brain's like, I don't care. I'm not gonna read about the book. The dog.
It's a really weird thing to do a book based around.
If it's Adventures of Crypto and Streaky and they're bickering, I'm freaking reading that book.
Meh.
The Zany Avengers. Why not? But those are part of my polls. And then I guess the last Catwoman are supposed to come out, something like that. Oh,
Fantastic Four Fanfare comes out next week too. That was the first issue.
Absolute Flash.
Godzilla versus Avengers.
Yeah.
This is going to be the new Avengers lineup.
Speaking of which, did you pick up New Avengers?
I did. I showed it.
I don't pay attention to you. I was asking a question. That's all. Couldn't fix it. I don't pay attention to you.
I haven't read it yet, but I will. I will read it sometime.
I looked at the interior art and I wasn't really impressed by how. But here's one thing I did notice. When the first opening page is Natasha and Bucky are knocking boots.
What a shock!
I know, right?
What a surprise!
So I looked, and assuming that Torpedo 1972 doesn't actually make it to the shops, I've got 8 and 2 facsimiles again this week or next week, just like this
Fantastic
week.
449 too, yeah.
Yeah, and the Adventure Comics.
Adventure Comics 210.
And I said, what was it? I'm going to give Fantastic Four Fanfare another issue.
Yeah, the first
Well,
one was really good.
Oh, also Zach, you get your wish. Remember, you kept talking about how Jeff was amazing in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, I don't play him, but sure.
No, he's getting his own miniseries next week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always amazing.
Oh, Hickman's writing in this one. Yes.
Yeah. Also, who gives a shit about Spider-Verse versus Venomverse? At this point, it's like, can we get Dan Slott away from anything?
Not the buffet table.
Oh.
I mean, let's put him at the buffet table and let him sit there for a while. Ooh, Epitaph from the Abyss. Number 12 is next week.
Yeah, I think they're ending on 12. Yeah, I just couldn't do it.
Your Space Ghost Johnny Quest is out next
Yeah,
week.
they still haven't gotten the Space Ghost annual in, though. I'm still
Really?
waiting on that. Yeah.
I could have sent it to you.
Well, they'll get it. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. Vampire number 3 for those who care about the Butcher series. For those who are like manga, Chainsaw Man's coming on next week.
No, we're not allowed to like manga.
Manga? Who said
Yeah,
that? Clownhead?
Yeah, Zach said it's stupid.
Oh, well, Zach is.
Hey, look, Young Blood Deluxe number 3 is out next week too.
I'm sorry. I called him by his famous name. Richard is stupid.
Tim Silius and Joseph Lillage have a new series book come out called Bloodletter.
Did you guys see Wes and Aaron's video today?
Not yet. I hadn't had a chance to.
They take some not so subtle shots at Richard.
Good.
Nice.
David Avalone is doing a Red Sonja series.
Oh.
It's called Red Sonja Noir.
Noir,
yeah.
Interesting.
You're gonna have to stretch the character a great deal to do a noir series of the Red Sonja, which is also be like it's just gonna be Red Sonja in name.
It's a very interesting.
Well, no, but no, it's this noir name apparently. It says when her mercenary partner is murdered, she is drawn into a feverish hunt for a priceless artifact known as the Crimson Calypso. So she's out of revenge, but first she's got to slice her way through a web of deception and violence, waging a war of weapons and wits against pitiless and implacable foe. David Avalone and Edu Mena are the creative team on this. So it looks like it's just noir in the sense it's basically like a detective thing, solving a murder.
But it just sounds weird because she's in a fantasy world. She's not in like banking.
Yeah, she's not in that see? Oh. You know what Marvel should do? Scrap all this other Venom verse and crap it. Just bring back Spider-Man Noir.
Well, they probably will because he's gonna.
But don't give it to Steve Orlando or Dan Slott. Give it to someone who actually understands the character.
They're bringing a show out pretty soon, so they probably will do at least a mini-series.
Return to Skull Island. To a Titan.
What?
Yeah.
Like King Kong Return to Skull Island?
Yeah, King Kong, yeah.
Where are you seeing these?
And they're next week. It's the Titan books.
Next week?
Yeah, official continuation of the Skull Island animated series.
A
Kong returns, spinning out of the hit Netflix show. This is by Simon Furman and Chris Jones.
Titan Comics?
Yep, Titan, yeah.
See, the animated series was not great.
I didn't say it was, but I mean, it's King Kong on Skull Island. Who cares?
Yeah, guess.
It's kaiju versus kaiju.
Depends on how this artist draws. Chris Jones, who are you, Chris Jones? What have you drawn?
Then there's
He's drawn like really cartoony looking stuff. He's done
we
like
have Bitchcraft by Aaron Reese and Lema Terrell.
the
Matt
Batman Strikes.
And I just sent a picture to Sports Ball. This would be the ultimate Marvel poster to have.
The ultimate. I like it. Is it the Ultimates?
No.
Ultimate X.
Zach, you can share it if you want to.
Hang on. I'll find it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw this. I put this on my my Twitter. Hang on.
I would frame that and put it in my living room.
It's a beaut.
The only gripe I have is I kind of could do without Rom.
I can do without Shang-Chi, honestly.
Well,
Shang-Chi,
but at the
Shang-Chi.
time, Shang-Chi was an important part of the Marvel universe.
I don't know how to make
But
this.
yeah, Rom came along. I mean, that kind of dates it a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's Ron Lim. It's Ron Lim, right?
No, it's John. Most
They
of
got
them,
they got the good.
I think it's all John Romita.
Is it?
Mhm.
Wow.
They've got
Well, most of it is.
they've got Carol Danvers done the right way.
Okay, no, the Wolverine's John Byrne. The Cyclops looks like Dave Cockrum. A lot of these look like Romita.
Is the poster coming out?
Iron Man's Gene Colan.
So is the poster or variant cover?
I don't know
This
what it is.
isn't a cover. I think it's just an edit.
If it were a poster, I'd be all over that.
If it's a JPEG, and it's big enough, I'll have somebody print it up, make a poster out of it.
Be nice. Oh yeah, somebody just edited. You can see his name up here in the corner. Edu as Guardian.
That's good. I can edit that out and just make the poster.
Go for it, man. It's nice.
Yeah, all clip and covers, different covers. You can tell it is. Wow, that is cool.
Put Spider Woman on there, but no Hawkeye. What disrespect.
He's there. He's in the background.
So yeah.
Hey, look, there's only one Captain America. There's only one Ghost Rider. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, that is interesting. The Avengers are very underrepresented in that.
They really are.
Hey,
X-Men are good.
did you see who's in the middle, though? It's all about Spider-Man.
Face. Your face. Oh, they did do another one. Hang on. There's the second one here. Hang on. I saw it in the replies.
Let's see. Trades for next
It's
week.
a lot of the same characters, but there are some differences.
There's 99 trade paperbacks coming out next
Oh, that's
Next
a
week.
smaller picture.
Moon Knight, Volume 1.
There's some Inhumans in this one.
They're doing a Batwoman Elegy DC Compact.
Eulogy?
It's a L-E-G-Y.
Ah.
Or E-L-G-Y.
Elegy.
Yeah, Elegy.
Yeah, I can't get this one bigger.
That's what she said.
Shut up. Oh, man. Now it's just... Spider-Man's a giant up here. You got Black Widow, Black Bolt, Power Man.
Yeah, I like the other one a lot better than this.
Yeah, this one, I don't know. Captain Britain, I guess.
Oh, this one's got Awesome Inhumans on it.
Yeah, this one's got some Inhumans. You got Medusa, Gorgon, Karnak, Crystal, Howard the Duck.
Ooh, Metamorpho trade down next week. And also releasing the Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb Spider-Man book.
Interesting.
Oh, that's Active Spider-Man Blue.
But it's yellow, though. It
But
says Spider-Man
it's
Blue.
Excellent series.
Yeah.
Is that on the
like
trade?
Spider-Man Blue, Daredevil Yellow, Hulk Gray, like one of those.
Also, you ever notice when you look at Tim Sale, his photo on League Comic Geeks, I keep thinking it's Andrew Lincoln from Walking Dead with the crazy hair. Metamorpho has his own book, Dow's World Tour. Yay!
Yeah, Metamorpho's book is about to end though.
G.I. Joe, Real Maker Hero, Volume 3 is coming out.
I think that Spider-Man Blue. It's basically Peter and Mary Jane are looking at pictures, and they go back and kind of like
Yeah,
retelling of Peter and Gwen's relationship, and then how it led to Peter and Mary Jane. And
yeah. It's actually Peter's in the attic. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He was by himself.
I see.
He pulled a Griswold. when he got trapped in the attic at Christmas Vacation. Authority Book 2 is coming out. They're releasing that. Hack Slash Body Bags. For those who are for manga, is 100 Bucket List of the Dead. Volume 17.
It's a pretty good one, actually.
Really good anime, and live action too is pretty good too. Night Before Christmas, Long Live the Pumpkin Twink through Dynamite. That's weird.
The Marvel Swimsuit Special.
Yeah, you saw that.
Artists include Nick Bradshaw, David Marquez, Ron Lim, Mirka Andolfo, Margaret.
Shout out to anybody who's still reading Rent a Girlfriend. Have you heard about the leaks about that manga?
Oh, that's manga.
It's a manga about this guy who is like he's very anxiety stuff, talking to girls, and then he meets this girl and through all this stuff, he does everything. He tries to win her affection, and we're like 300 chapters in, and she's like, after like all these months of him waiting for her, like, see if she loves him or not, she says, "I love you, but I don't want to be with you because I have my social status and all stuff." She pretty much like rips his heart out. It's like remember like Simpsons where Lisa goes in Bart's like, "Look, you can pinpoint where his heart just explodes." Yeah, and a lot of people are just like ripping into that manga anime.
That's one of those manga that my girlfriend reads because she likes the relationship drama. I read manga for the fights.
I'll read through it, but then I look at the comment section because I love the people are like, "Why are we still here?" And they're like, and guys like, it's like, "I hate this book, but I can't give it up." it's like headaches.
I don't understand people like that.
Criminal Volume 7, Wrong Place, Wrong Time comes out next week. What else we got here? Outsiders Volume 1 trade for Titan.
Like the very first Outsiders, like Halo.
No, it's a manga.
Oh, I think like DC. Never mind.
It's in DC, Yeah, I was shocked too.
Never mind.
I'm just going through the Spawn, Shadows of Spawn Collected. Oh, what we got here?
So I like how you're spoiling all of our future best of streams.
Future best of? What do you mean best ofs?
Like you're talking about all the comic books we'll probably be talking about in a few weeks.
Well, no, this is next week's.
Oh,
I'm just going through browse a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna go. It's just a top 5, but obviously, Garfield's Full Course, Volume 6. Holy, how many issues were there that series? Zach, if you want to, we can do a top 5 manga stream. We never talk about manga on this channel.
I'm past 5. If no one can see these, I'm past 5. I'm in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm at least 12. 13 manga.
I tamed my ex-husband's Mad Dog, Volume 3. What the?
No. Not those kind of manga.
Ooh, here's something. King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, Volume 2, Morgana's Revenge through Mad Cave.
Look who the writer is.
George
Our
Carallo.
friend Joe?
Yeah, Joe Carallo. That's out next week.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah. Oh, did you watch any of their Mad Men in the Box stream last night?
No.
No.
I started watching this morning and just to see it, and they're ranking the episodes, and they only had one good episode. They said the whole entire series sucked. Lanzi or whatever his name is, Landry. He said this isn't Doctor Who. It hasn't been Doctor Who for so many years.
But did he blame Trump?
No, there was nothing but Trump.
No, it's nice to know he's very.
I know, but I mean, like, they all trash it and they all said because remember the whole reveal was that the Doctor's the last transformation goes from a black guy turns into Rose Tyler. The fuck
was Oscris so crestfallen that he wore sleeves?
He hasn't been there for like a couple months.
I haven't seen Oz.
Yeah, I don't see him on there anymore.
I don't know if it's scheduling issues or what.
I mean, Jimmy's been showing up of all things.
Really?
I haven't seen Jimmy either.
Jimmy was there last week, but
Wow.
yeah. But Joe's been on there regular.
Joe.
So it's always love to see, like, even in like Landry and Joe, it says like, how about we reboot the series, but don't explain what anything is. Gallifrey, Time Lords, all that stuff. We just make it like with Christopher Eccleston's. He was number 9. Doctor number 9, and they basically when you his season, It was a reintroduction. They didn't tell you who he was. You know who this guy was. You just know that you're finding out all these things, and it was like a great.
See you, Jackson.
Yeah,
Bye, Jackson.
but as they said, it's like you can reboot it, ignore everything that's happened for the past couple of years, and just do it. But like they said, and Clownfish TV, I was also he was talking about the doctor. He's like, so basically they're gonna have there's two doctors because the black doctor, whatever Cootie, whatever.
Yeah, he
Biogen, and then you had David Tennant. So now they said they're gonna have the disc doctor, who is the black Cootie, whatever it is, we turned into Rose Tyler, is probably gonna reemerge with David Tennant's doctor and create a new creepy doctor. Like at this point, fire Russell T Davies, burn it to the ground. It is just horrendous, and I just feel bad for anybody.
I didn't know already he knew this much about Doctor Who. I would never.
Dude, I was in Doctor Who up until Capaldi, and then when Jodie Whittaker, I watched the first episode, and I realized, wow, they just went very full political. There was some political stuff throughout the new seasons, you know, since 2006, but I said it was nothing like this. Like I don't care the fact he changed genders. It was the fact that they just became bad. Trump this. All about. It was a British TV show doing shows or episodes about U.S. history. The Rosa Parks episode.
That's why I watch British sci-fi.
Exactly right. So I dropped it, and but. Hey, at least we got the Rookie coming back. And hey, I still have all of Castle to watch. I've been waiting for the Rookie to end, then I'm going to start Castle because I don't want to listen.
I love Castle. Castle.
I need something to watch once the Rookie goes off the air. So I'm like, I'm going to watch Castle afterwards.
Is confirmed Rookie is coming back for season 8?
I think so. I haven't looked. But there isn't really much on TV other than right now than Resident Alien, which just came back. It's been a really good show. And I'm so glad it's still on Sci-Fi. I thought they're kicking it offside if they just have only on USA, but it's airing on Sci-Fi and USA at the same time, which is really weird. I don't really. Has there ever been like that before, Breen, where you have a show airing on two different channels at the same time?
Probably.
It's both those are owned by the same company, so it's hard to do it.
I'm going to join Jackson in the Where Are They Now file.
No, we're gonna end it here. I just wanted to
read a couple of books and call it a night.
That and then go to bed.
TDS Day, that's what Doctor Who's become. Yeah, but hey, it's gonna end, and then I joked with Pixar. It's like, I guess you're no longer the Doctor Who channel.
No, he's been doing like Lord of the Rings and Hobbit book stuff, which is
on his Pixel lore. Yeah, he's been doing that stuff.
Like that.
So.
Wow, if he started doing Lord of the Rings stuff, I'd be waxing nostalgic for Doctor Who.
I'm just annoyed that his I was gonna say Doctor Lord of the Rings. Doctor Lord of the Rings isn't 3 hours long.
It is if you watch the extended cuts.
No, I meant his reviews.
Oh.
Yeah, and also
former Venom writer Donny Cates. Donny Cates is coming back to social media, apparently. By the way,
he has been, but
Donny Cates slams Marvel Comics' refusal to let Spider-Man grow up.
Good for you, Donald.
So Donny Cates and Al Ewing. Al Ewing, I'm more surprised that
Al Ewing has been more outspoken too lately too about certain things, but he's still a dick.
But isn't it weird that we are Team Al Ewing and Donnie Cocaine Cates, and not Team Claremont?
He says, quote, "It's like we have a Chili's and there's people screaming for ice cream, and Marvel Comics is saying no, F you, we don't have ice cream." Cates added, "Sell ice cream. What the F's wrong with you?"
Yeah. Oh, and I want to quickly bring up the reason you probably don't bring up that Donald Blake and the Straczynski theory, because for a little bit he was turning into like they changed places, and then that was during the whole thing where Sif was Lady Sif. Lady Sif ends up like cutting his head off, and it's revealed that Odin came out and says, like, well, yeah, Donald Blake was just a construct at Great View. He never was real.
Yeah, I'm starting to remember that part, but they
Yeah.
admitted it was a construct even back in Simonson's era, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just saying I liked because he'd go in. He's in the void. Well, Thor's there. He's on the couch just watching TV. He's eating popcorn and stuff, and then like they trade, and then you see Thor and him on a couch together, just talking to each other. There's a little coffee table. It was so meta. Bringing that word back.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Pixel has another channel. Beware. All right. We're going to end it here. Real quick, tomorrow night's readings. We're starting it off with a Jonah Hex at 8 p.m. Eastern. This is issue number 3 from the 1970s. It's safe for the Lesters. I made sure.
It's safe for the Lesters, but not for kids.
Yes, the Lesters aren't kids.
That's true.
Yes. Followed by X Factor number 2. We promise this one won't last an hour and a half.
I don't like those costumes.
Well, it's because they're trying not to be the X-Men.
I understand. I just
Still look like the X-Men.
I'm just stating that I don't like them.
And the reason I should start putting warning this is not safe for children on everything we do here because nothing we do here is safe.
Honestly.
All right.
Half the time I'm like, how am I here? I feel I'm in danger.
You're always in danger, Zach.
Sure.
That's the joy.
At any given time, there's a black and white
and real quickly,
outside my door.
Real quickly, do you have a hot take?
Do I have a hot take? Do I have a hot take just off the top of my head? I don't know. It's not really much of a hot. I don't know. I think you know what's his name? Spaceballs.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
He's getting too old to be doing this. I'm excited for Spaceballs too.
He's not doing it, and when I tell you who is, your interest level will probably diminish greatly.
Really, who's doing it?
Josh Gad.
Oh God.
Exactly. Why not throw in Seth Rogen while you're at it?
That's the thing. The thing that got me is they got Rick Moranis and Bill Pullman to come back, and I feel like
there's no confirmation on Rick Moranis.
Well, that's because everybody else is dead.
Oh, that's true.
There's no confirmation.
Joan Rivers and
John Candy. How are you?
Yeah, Joan Rivers and John Candy were the two characters that stood out.
That's true.
Yeah, there's no Rick Moranis because he's not confirmed yet.
Oh, he hadn't? I thought I already had.
He hasn't acted since 1997. He's done some voice actor work, but that's about it. Anyway, though, that is your hot take for the night. That
not very hot. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'll let y'all down.
There's a real good chance Mel Brooks doesn't live to see the premiere because I think he's 98.
I mean, yeah, that's
and if you don't have Bill Pullman at least in there, and the girl the princess,
I think his son is going to be in it too.
Well, yeah. Well, Daphne Zuniga retired from acting.
Yeah,
and she's been she married Kevin Kline and basically got out of acting altogether.
Yes,
good for her.
No, that was the chick from
say something. Say anything.
Gremlins.
Oh, Phoebe.
I am going to go see Ballerina.
That's right. Phoebe Cates.
You're
right. Daphne Zuniga is still around, so they might be able to get her.
I am going to be going to see Ballerina on Saturday, so I will probably have some kind of review of that next time I'm on here.
But you know what? Phoebe Cates lasted long enough to give every boy of a certain age quite the fantasy.
She's the one that comes on the bikini in the water.
The red bikini girl.
Yeah.
And
also National Lampoon's.
And God bless Judge Reinhold for doing that scene.
Yes, it was absolute cinema.
What on earth? What is that? Porky the Pig as Peter Lorre?
Watch out, Zach.
Yep, there they are. There they are. At any given time, they're right outside my window.
They're outside your window? We have a castle?
At any given time.
It's another one of those 40-minute goodbyes.
Yep.
You know what? There you go.
He's not wrong. This is like the summertime of Phineas and Ferb. It goes on for like 4 years.
Hey,
104 days.
that's
104 days.
You know
but
what,
it's out over 4 years.
Are you comparing us to Phineas and Ferb? That's awesome. Thank you.
Phineas and Ferb is. I'm going through it right now in detail. I'm loving it so much.
I need to find season 5.
They re-upped it.
I saw the first episode.
My brother's watched the first handful. He really, there's a Cajun Doofenshmirtz. Cajun one. It's the greatest thing.
Well, I think it's I would argue it's the greatest cartoon ever made because there is nothing that you couldn't show a 5-year-old.
Yep.
And I've never seen an entire episode that I didn't laugh out loud at least once.
There you go. That's
Oh
it.
yeah. Also, when on a sour note, Steven Universe is coming back with a spinoff series.
Oh God. Oh, I'm gonna go die in my own vomit now.
Yes. Speaking
All right.
of not the greatest cartoons,
I know, right? All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Bye,
Yeah,
everybody. Make good choices.
See ya.